Peter, this morning in your session on what's next in tech, you guys covered an awful lot of ground on some of the stuff that's here and coming down the line. But you ended up by saying a lot of the things Siemens delivers today and in the future, it's still too complex. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is that if you really want to have shooting for the stars and want to have the super ultra duper digital twin that is real-time photorealistic, of course there's many things, right, that needs to come together. And usually the journey doesn't begin there, right? So the journey is actually with a very mundane task, and that is usually connecting to data sources. So the brownfield connectivity, starting there, making this extraordinarily easy, because we know that much of the equipment that is out there doesn't have any communication equipment at all. So you need to retrofit. So you need to make it really simple. So that's what I mean by, if you go for the full solution, it's super complex. You have to break it down as a journey. You have to see it as a digital transformation, which means it takes many years so that you get there. Don't shoot for the stars. Start with something small, tangible. And that is, first step is connectivity, and then focusing on a specific use case. Could be uptime,
right.
Of course, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance is usually our key things. It's virtual commissioning. These kind of things actually we can make work because of employing this technology.
Okay. Now, some of the examples that you had on stage in different companies, the other thing I was chatting with the various folks here would be they're going, oh, look at this, and look at what Red Bull are doing, or what BASF and whatever. And yet smaller SMEs are kind of going, God, that looks really complicated as well, you know, from their perspective. So, and you guys,
yeah,
I don't know how much percentage of your business is SMEs, right? So how do you help them along?
So it's tough to answer it in general terms, because earlier today I also showed this startup, right, Nemo Garden,
yeah,
that actually is using very sophisticated design tools as a startup. The difference, I think, is what you're alluding to is the small to medium-sized enterprise that is already established, true, operating for many years.
The
right?
brownfield.
And it has the brownfield, that's it. Because if you start new, it's not that complicated, to be honest, because you take the design tools that are there, you connect it to the edge devices, and then you build your data algorithms behind that. That's fine. Now, going back to the data connectivity, so usually for a small to medium-sized enterprise, again, the journey starts usually on the manufacturing floor.
Right.
And this is where, so if you have a lot of, let's say, machinery that is rotating equipment such as pumps, valves, what have you, these are prone to failure, and you want to make sure that your operation is running smoothly. And so for that, there's plug-and-play sensors, there's plug-and-play technology that you can use already today, which really doesn't require you to have a sophisticated, trained engineer who does it, where actually this is relatively easy to do. It's almost like turning on an iPhone, not entirely, but almost. Now, add to this, we just made an acquisition in the UK with Siemens AG, which actually goes exactly in that direction, also for the vision part, to make this, because there's a lot of vision applications, and let's say for quality control. Yep. So we try to make this much easier. And then my last thing on this would be to use Mendix as a low-code platform, which actually gets you a lot of connectivity, not just to the sensors, but also to all the different data repositories that you may have as a small to medium-sized enterprise. So quite frankly, taking the Mendix part as your angle to build the software as you need it, yeah, as a citizen developer, meaning you're not skilled, right? And then connect it to a few use cases where you get a few sensors in there, might be Siemens, might be somebody else, but that's exactly where I would start.
And if I may, this is kind of back to your opening comment, was around make it simple.
Yeah.
It's not that you're taking the complex, you know, I just like a kid in a candy shop, yeah, here with the virtual commissioning and VR and the everything, right? The technology underneath is complex, but it's about how you interact with that. And as you say, you start with the sensors or Mendix, yeah, or whatever. Yeah. It's making it simple to use.
Absolutely. So that's very true. So an interesting fun fact is the ratio of UX designers to software developers at Mendix for us internally is one of the highest we have in the company. Why? Because if you today sign up on Mendix, you are on within a minute, right? Even less than a minute. It's so simple, it's so easy to get started. A lot of UX designers have thought about that customer journey, that user journey of where to start, how to log in, how to get you activated.
Right.
There's many UX people, meaning really designers that design the whole workflow end to end and think about simplicity, hiding complexity. The complexity is still there, but it's hidden. By the way, your smartphone, right, whatever smartphone you're using, you don't have a manual, you can go really, really deep, and there's very sophisticated settings, but for 99% you don't need it, right? And so it's actually hiding the complexity, understanding about what 99% of the people are doing in any case, and making this work. So the short answer of this is designers, UX designers working hand in hand with actually the developers in order to really make it simple for the users.
Hey, thank you very much.
Very good. Kevin,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.